Hello everyone, it's nice having you around for today's exposition. Today we are discussing double checking the use of finite verbs. Now we've been discussing finite verbs for some time, and today we're going to be looking at how correct they are in a given sentence. So these are the things we must have. The first is basic knowledge of finite verbs, and the next is 100% attention. So you need this too for 100% understanding of what we're going to take today. So you have to know this. There's something I want you to note. And yeah, the first you, which is second person singular or plural subject or object pronoun, or I, which is first person singular subject pronoun, take a plural verb. So whenever you talk about you or I is a plural verb, you have to use with either of these two pronouns. So you go with a plural verb, I go with a plural verb also. So either of them go with a plural verb. Well, the next thing I want to note is indefinite pronouns such as somebody, nobody, everybody take singular verbs. So whenever you talk about indefinite pronouns such as somebody, nobody, everybody, you have to use a singular verb with such indefinite pronouns. So here are a couple of examples. We're going to be looking at these sentences together. What are we going to be watching out for? We're going to be watching out for if the finite verbs in each of the sentences is correct or wrong as per usage. So the first is this: John visits the clinic often. Now, don't forget that when we talk about present tense is divided into two parts, mainly, which are the singular verb and the plural verb. So often, as I said, present tense shows a regular action, a consistent action. So when we say John visits the clinic often means it is what he does. He does it. It's a consistent action. Now, John is one person, so visits is right. So this finite verb is correctly used here. John visits the clinic often. This is correct. There's no need for any correction. It's correctly used. So the next you're going to look at is Thomas and Philip speaks up always. Thomas and Philip speaks up always. Now, if you look at the word always is an adverb of frequency, and always shows that this is a consistent action. So right here, we have a present tense. So let's see the kind of verb that's being used. How many people are we talking about? Thomas and Philip, two people. So this is a plural subject. So what kind of verb is speaks? Speaks is a singular verb. So there's no way a singular verb can work with a plural subject. This is not right under the subject verb concord rule. So speaks here is a wrong finite verb. It should not be used with Thomas and Philip because you're talking about two people. So this is wrong. So what should be the correct thing? It should be Thomas and Philip speak up always. This is the right thing. Thomas and Philip speak up always. So let's see the third one. You thinks about yourself only. You thinks about yourself only. Let's see if this final verb is correctly used. Now don't forget up there, we made mention of something under the two notes that were given. It was said that whenever you use you or I, either of them have to go with a plural verb. You goes with the plural verb, I goes with the plural verb. So when we talk about you here, you thinks about yourself only. This is wrong because thinks is a singular verb, should not go with you. So this is wrong. So what should it be? It should be you think about yourself only. You think about yourself only. So you always go with a plural verb. So let's see the next. We have somebody comes for the bread yesterday. Somebody comes for the bread yesterday. Now when you look at somebody, it's set up there under the two notes, one of the notes, that whenever you talk about an indefinite pronoun, such as somebody, everybody, nobody, and so on and so forth, you use a singular verb. So somebody comes. This should have been right, provided this action is a consistent action, a regular one. But this action happened yesterday. So this is more or less a one-off action. So somebody comes for the bread yesterday. That's wrong. The verb comes would have been 100% correct with somebody. But since this happened yesterday, that should be a past tense. So we can't use a present tense verb either singular or plural. So this should be the right thing. Somebody came for the bread. Somebody came for the bread yesterday. Then the next we have Amos always go to school. Amos always go to school. Now if you look at this very well, sometimes people often mistake an adverb for a verb. Amos is one person. Then, when we talk about finite verb, one of the features or one of the qualities of a finite verb is simply this. A finite verb can be directly used with a subject. If you look at them, somebody came, you think, and so on and so forth. After the subject, the next thing you see is a finite verb. Finite verb can be used directly. But when you look at this, Amos is one person, and if you're not careful, you may mistake this for a verb because it has s. Always is an adverb of frequency. So an adverb is one of the major parts of speech that could be used directly, that could be placed directly with the subject even before you bring in the verb. But it doesn't change the fact that the finite verb is still directly related to the subject. So when you look at this, Amos always go to school. Now Amos is one person, the finite verb here is go. So it should be Amos goes to school always, or Amos always goes to school. So this is not well used. So the right thing is Amos always goes to school. Amos always goes to school. So here are a couple of take homes. I would love you to tackle this ones. Just have to tell me if the finite verbs here are right or wrong as per usage. So the first is nobody know you in the estate. Nobody know you in the estate. Now nobody can see, as you can see, you just have to tell me if the finite verb there is, as you can see, is no. So tell me if it's rightly used or wrongly used. So the next we have is John's procedures costs an arm and a leg. John's procedures costs an arm and a leg. So tell me if they're right or wrong. You just have to tell me if they're right or wrong in the comment section. If they're wrong, comment the right answers, the right way to use them. So the next is you and I know each other too well. You and I know each other too well. So at this point, we're going to be drawing the content of today's exposition. If you find this resourceful, subscribe to this channel and share this very exposition. See you in the next exposition.